right now, it's time to talk about what's really going on, okay? So right now, I got a special guest in the building. And my special guest, she's definitely really pulling out a lot of the stops right now, man. She's really getting busy out here. And when I seen her this morning, upon meeting her, the first thing that she brought out was her banner. Let's talk about promotion for a second. Whatever it is that you're working on, if you're not promoting yourself properly, you're actually kicking yourself in the back, okay? That's just number one, okay? That's number one to marketing. My guest this morning is someone beautiful. She's talented. Yeah, she's talented and she's focused right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome to my show Miss Raquel Shelton, the published author, the motivational speaker. Good morning, Raquel.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Yes, I want to piggyback off what you say. You have to have your banner. You are your piece of advertisement. If you saw a box of cereal that was a white box with nothing on it, would you want to eat that cereal? Would you want to buy that? No. They put the pictures on it. They put the flavor in, the calorie count. So you're a product. You're your own product. You have to advertise it all the time. So.
Yo, that is a hell of an analogy for this morning, man.
About it, yeah.
Message.
Cereal, morning.
Good morning, Raquel. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I am great. I'm still on a high. I'm on an ultralight beam. From last night, we had the Dreams Bigger Than Texas release party. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm Raquel Shelton. I am the author of Dreams Bigger Than Texas, which is an incredible Rose from Concrete story of a young woman coming of age, overcoming adversities, her strive towards success, growth into purpose and womanhood. It's a hood story, it's a love story, it's a story of hope, strength, and tenacity. So last night we had the house rocking over at Mars Gallery. We had a major epic turnout. We had No Try Do emceeing the event, Christopher Lamarck performing, and Antonio Monix doing spoken word. Great people, great vibes, positive energy. And so I'm here. I'm here. I'm still a little sleepy, but I'm so excited, and I'm just happy to be here.
But you know what? The fact that you're here is the greatest thing as well. And I thank you for coming. But let's talk about what it's like to be an author of a literary work, okay? Let's talk about that for a minute, man. How did you get to the point where you realized or you figured that it was time for me to tell my story, or to just say tell a story, so to say? How did you get to that point?
Great question. I'll say maybe like 3rd or 4th grade. I always had a book in me, whether I was folding up pieces of papers, stapling them to the sides and making little books. But it was really my senior year in college. Okay. I was 2 months away from graduating from college. First in my family to graduate. In my household, my mother's thing was, you better not bring no babies in this house, make sure you get your GED, and I come from a background of violence, substance abuse, drugs, and things of that sort. So it was a very incredible moment for me to not only graduate high school, but to really be months away from graduating college. So at that point, I was like, man, I got to tell this story. I know someone out there may be going through something similar, and I want people to understand that they can overcome their past. They could dream bigger, and defy odds. So at that point, I knew I needed to get it out.
Okay. So you talked about, you briefly spoke upon your background, right? Now, there are many women and men, young men, that are going through this same scenario or have been through this same scenario as a part of their life. Some have made it, some have not, right? What was your motivation aside of school, aside of maybe the love that you encountered or endured in your lifetime? What were some of the motivation points in your life that kind of made you feel like a book was the right path to go? Because you went to school. A lot of people, in this day and age, it seems like we're in a do-it-yourself age, right?
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, in my opinion, we all have different experiences that could be told and can be relatable to the next person, right? But you're coming from an experience that a lot of people can relate to. What makes yours different?
Man, you hit me with all these great questions, and I love it.
No.
This is love. Yeah. So first part of it was in the book. There's a hidden character called the Help. So you have to get the book. And you can go to dreamsbiggerthantexas.com and you can check that out. There's a hidden character that's with the main character, which is myself. It is a memoir. That was an extra voice of conscience, voice of reason that motivated him. And then I think, sometimes not having anything growing up or being limited so we can't afford that or can't do that or make certain moves. Not having everything made me want everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wanted to just take care of my family and be the one to, I guess, get us out the hood, if you will, to kind of break down generational curses and to make moves. So part of that, in 2009, I found my purpose. I was tutoring at a school on the south side of Chicago, Harlem, and I kept meeting all these amazing youth. And I think meeting them with similar stories and backgrounds to mine, I knew they needed to see that you can be more than your background. Statistics are just numbers. You know what I mean? You can overcome adversity. So working with the youth is really my passion point. And because of them, I feel like that's why I am. That's what put me over the top to get this story out in a more urgent fashion.
That is so dope, right? Now, I've had experience with working with children, man. Shout out to Chalmers over on the west side. Like, I worked at Chalmers for a while, and that was a while ago. And you learn a lot, you meet a lot of people, and same thing, like you're saying, like, you kind of just see different things, you know what I mean? So, when you were working with these children, man, like, were these children friendly kids, or were they just from all different backgrounds, like you can assume?
They were from all different backgrounds. I mean, and it's a great challenge because I was technically 8, 9 years older than them. Mm-hmm. So the little girls were sizing me up. Some of the little boys was trying to holler. Just different personalities. So they oftentimes helped me to grow into the woman I am. You know, I got a chance. And kids will keep it real with you.
Definitely.
They'll call you out on your BS in a minute.
Definitely.
So it was a great space to just kind of grow and groom to those different personalities. So some were friendly, and by the end of the school year, I kind of had them all in my grasp, and we worked through things like Big Brother, Big Sister. I actually had quite a few of them that came out last night. One performed. So it's a blessing. I feel like each generation we're supposed to pass the torch to them, and then they look out for us because they'll be the ones raising our children, once they get up to speed.
So talk to me about the book, Dreams Bigger Than Texas, man. First of all, that's a dope title.
Thank you.
And it's pretty much in layman's terms, if you understand common things, right? I don't want to say common sense because everybody doesn't have it. If you understand common things, it's pretty much right there in your face. Tell me about that. Tell me about that title first. What does that mean?
The title, Everything is Bigger in Texas. We know that, right?
Right.
I was in college in Texas, and my dreams superseded where I was physically. I even wanted more than, although being the first to graduate high school and to go away to college, I wanted more than where I was. So my dreams superseded my physical location, which was Texas, and everything is bigger in Texas. So that's the title, Dreams Bigger Than Texas. The subtitle is a story of purpose, perseverance, and growth into womanhood. So, even with the cover, if you look at the cover art, you have feet are symbolic to transition, movement. You got the rose coming from concrete, because it's definitely, you think of the Tupac poem, the rose that grew from concrete. It symbolizes strength and power. Roses do not grow from concrete, but it's a beautiful thing birthed out of rocky and tough situations. So that's kind of where I came up with the concept of the cover and the title, and the rest is history. We're dreaming bigger around here. Got to.
Okay, so we're talking about dreams. Like, a lot of people don't get a chance to chase their dreams, you know what I mean? Like, and that's funny. I was just talking about the Meek Mill title, Dream Chasers, right? A lot of people don't get a chance to chase their dreams. This book that you put together, right? How long did it take you to form it? Before, like, all of the necessary business side of things, as far as, like, writing it and proofreading, how long did that take you?
Well, I started it about 9 years ago, and my dream was deferred a bit, and it was deferred because I let fear stagnate me into procrastination. I was like, who are you to write a memoir at 24 years old? You know what I mean? So it sat still for a while. And then again, I met the youth, and after I met the kids, I kept saying, dang, these people need this story. So it was overall a 9-year process. I tried to publish it in 2011, so about 5 years ago. I tried to get it going, but it wasn't right. Timing is everything. I feel like, as bad and thirsty as we want to have stuff, if you're not really prepared mentally, emotionally, it's not going to be your best you. So, and right now I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia, and I work for a media company there. I feel like God had to move me to Atlanta to groom me professionally and get me up to speed to have the capacity to put this thing out. And here we are, 2016. Finally getting the thing out. Regarding the editing process, we had websites, photo shoots. I say a year straight I've been grinding like nonstop. Every day I did a Kickstarter. We successfully raised about $9,000.
Nice.
So, man, shout out to everybody that's been rocking with me and supporting me. This wouldn't even be realistic without people tuning in, sharing it, and helping to promote it. So this last year I've been going like insanely every day, all day, nonstop, hard on it. So
you know, like in this studio, I interview 90% of musical artists. You know what I mean? We've had a few athletes, bless the lines and the microphones as well, professional athletes. But in talking to an author, like I've never had this thought. Right? You said it took you 9 years to prepare this project, right? It's like a artist talking about their first album, because your whole life experience goes into that first thing, right?
Yep,
and
it's your baby.
Dope, right?
It's
your baby,
personal.
right?
You know what I mean? Yeah, and to your point, I even compare it with the music industry. I'm an independent author, so either you get a record deal or you get a book deal. But when you get a record deal, they can shelf it. They can say, "Hey, we're not going to put you out to 2022, but you're trying to get your music out now." Right. I wanted to get my book out now. The time is now for that. So it is very similar to, I think, the music industry. And you can go independent, which is what I did. Did the Kickstarter. You know, we had a bunch of supporters. We paid for websites, editors, all of that, and we made it happen. So I do agree that it's very similar to the music industry in its own right in terms of getting any body of work and art out.
Nice. So let's talk about the event that you held yesterday for the book. Would this been considered your signing party?
Yeah, this was the release. This was Welcome to the World. Yeah, this was.
You're like a rapper out here.
I am a rapper. I'm gonna try my mixtape. I did the So Gone challenge too, so that's pretty funny. Whenever you get a chance to check it out.
How long ago was this though? This was when it was popping.
It was hot. Yeah, maybe like 2 months, 2.5 months ago. Yeah, so I'm like a rapper.
You out here promoting this book, like on tours. Like, yeah, I hear it. But so tell me, that's so funny. So again, tell me about this event yesterday. Like I said, I brought up the flyer. I was like, yo, of course, shout out No Try Do, big bro, what up? And you know what I mean? I seen another name over there, Christopher Lamarck. Shout out Christopher Lamarck. I definitely remember DJing an event that Christopher Lamarck was a part of. What went into this event? Like, was this like the celebration, or was this just another aspect of getting work done for you?
You know, and I'm working on it. I was telling someone, it did feel like getting work done. So now everything is hitting me. I'm finally like, man, that was last night.
Right,
you know what I mean? And
like literally
that was last night, like some hours ago. Sometimes it's hard I'm working on living in the moment. Because I think sometimes I'm so, let's get it done, hustle. To where I forget to take a second and take it all in and just say, hey, these people are here celebrating you. You know, this book is about to be out. I still have to live and go to work. People may be on page 62, like, what? Who is that texting me? You know, and just all of that. So it was a great event, great vibes, great people. Mars Gallery did a great job of hosting us. We had refreshments. Shout out to my girls that did all the refreshments, the bartending and everything. Yeah, so we had book signings. Yeah. We had some giveaways, you know, great energy, poetry, music. Shout out to Trackmatics who did the DJing for us. So yeah, man, it was all love. I think I'm finally just taking everything in right now.
That is so official. So the book signing party. So tell me, did you get a chance to read some of your book to your peers or the audience out there, right?
So I had an excerpt museum. I printed out like these big 20 by 30, like that size
just
excerpts.
Like that. Okay.
Yep. And I had easels throughout the gallery, and I had the excerpts just kind of stationed different places. I spoke, and I really just kind of gave an overview of how long it took and thanking everybody, but there were definitely excerpts there. We did a really nice excerpt museum.
Okay, Raquel, so I gotta know this, right? So we're talking about this, and this is this idea. These ideas.
Go for it, man. Let's do it.
Right. So I'm looking at the promo, right? And we talked about this for a brief second, man. When I look at this, right? So I like art, yo. Real talk. I love art. Okay. So when I look at this, it's like. It paints an interesting picture if I'm really in tune with this side of the world, well, with this aspect industry, you know what I'm saying? I'm really in tune with that. Now, the rose, we said the rose is kind of relatable to like the Tupac, a rose from the concrete,
yep,
right?
Absolutely.
That's fly. So tell me, to you, when you think about a story of purpose,
perseverance, growth into womanhood.
It's just a lot, right? It's a memoir, right?
It is.
What was the most challenging thing about putting your personal experiences on paper?
Like I was just mentioning, I still have to go to work. I still have to live. You know what I mean? And even just with my family, because it's very revealing, it's very raw, it's relatable. And my mother, she's been clean over 25 years.
Shout out to mom.
Shout out to mom.
That's a great accomplishment.
She came through last night in the leather dress, looking amazing.
A leather dress.
I was like, this is my party.
Hey.
Yes. But so just venturing through that. sharing just such intimate details with people. You know, this I'm still nervous, you know, like I said, I still have to live, but I think my obligation is greater than any fears and frustrations. People out there need to hear this. People need to know that they're not alone. I feel like we free people when we tell our stories, and sometimes culturally it's like what happened in this house stays in this house, don't go telling our business. But someone down the block may be going through the exact same thing, and they need to hear your story in order to push through or say, hey, she did it, why can't I? So my obligation is greater than my frustration, which is what encourages me in spite of being nervous and having all my business in the street. It's bigger than me. You know what I mean? It's bigger than me.
When you're talking about, so of course we know a general theme of this book is empowering women, right? Young women, young women of color, things like that, man. And when you take those thoughts and your experiences and A and B them with some of the children that you've come across in life, you know what I mean? Whether it's that you've worked with them or you just know them, whatnot, right? How hard is it to get through to young women?
And the great thing about Dreams Bigger Than Texas, it's applicable to young women, young men. And with it being a memoir, there's something in there for everybody. You know what I mean? So you're with the character from child up until college. You know, whether it's dealing with self-esteem, insecurities, just fear, personal issues. You know, so there's still a message in there for everyone. I think it can be hard sometimes getting through to younger women, specifically being in this microwave society. We see all these video vixens, we see these strippers, we see all type of different depictions, to where I think being authors or being attorneys or being doctors, sometimes that's not always celebrated. So I think it's our obligation, people that are in different facets, and no shade or anything to the women that's out there hustling and getting their money earnestly, but I think celebrating morality and celebrating being just a positive example. You know, we have to make that cool again. And we have to be conscious of that. So that way we could turn on these young girls and young guys to say, hey, I want to be an author. Hey, I want to do something different other than what we see all day long in reality TV or what's just in the media, period. So
do you and I'm asking these questions for real, like, do you look down on like some of these women that have probably not made necessarily the better choices in whatever it is they could be doing in life? And I mean like the reality TV stars. Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I definitely can't look down on them. I'm not in position. And when you read my story, I get really raw and personal. I think we've all made some decisions and been placed in situations that we're not always proud of. To each his own, but I do think exposure is so vital. Maybe they didn't have exposure to other alternatives and other opportunities to know that it's something else you can be. And maybe it's just the easiest thing, you know, to exploit your body for whatever. And regarding entertainment TV, I mean, I work in the industry. I think, again, until we put out cooler, creative depictions of other things, we're only being fed what we see all day long. You know what I mean? So I think it's up to creators, writers, to do those type of things. And this is a great segue, because my ultimate goal after the book is to start a media-based nonprofit organization. I want to give inner city youth a voice and allow them and teach them how to be their own gatekeepers, where they could share different stories other than what we see or what we don't see. So
that's dope. That sounds like it's necessary.
It is. Who's telling our stories? You know what I mean? Other people. And even just when I think of Chicago, you know, Chicago is home for me. I live in Atlanta, and Chicago's in the media all day long. This, that. And it's like, it's such a great city. It's so many more opportunities and stories and things to share about the city other than what we're exposed to on TV and through the media. If we only see people get shot and things like that, we're not celebrating the bigger picture of the city. So I think it's a biased perspective, and that goes with anything. There's other stories out there to be told and celebrated, and it's up to us and people that work in the media to go out there and do that and to gain exposure to different things.
Being from Chicago and at the current moment living in Atlanta, can you see a difference in like the landscapes between both cities?
Yeah, and Atlanta is it's an international city now. I think so many people are moving. Yeah, people are moving there. So it's even hard to meet true natives that's from the A. Like, you meet people from a little bit of everywhere, and it's becoming a very boom and popular city. It's the new Black Hollywood, or it's the Hollywood now. So everyone's moving there for the entertainment base, whether you're an artist or, you know, a reality star or aspiring, or you want to reinvent yourself. Atlanta seems like the place to be for everyone right now.
Okay. Well, you know what's crazy? I've been in Atlanta. I couldn't tell you how many times, right?
Okay.
And I think, of course, because Atlanta has an interesting media industry as well. It does. It has an interesting media industry, okay? But do we think, like, people are moving to Atlanta because of what they see on reality TV? Because think about how many shows, and we're not, of course, it's not throwing shots
right, no,
at any reality TV star, but there are a lot of reality TV shows that are filmed from Atlanta. Not even just Atlanta anymore, just parts of Georgia. You know what I mean? From different cultures, from, hell, that's a lot of shows. I don't feel like running them down.
I'm with
you know what I mean? But
as
a person working in the media industry, do you feel like the media depicts our people of color in a way that has been done for so long that it's becoming a standard now? Do you feel so?
I do. I see some of those trends, absolutely. And like I said, I can't say enough. It's up to us to tell rich, cultural, positive, progressive stories. You know what I mean?
We need
rich, cultural, positive, progressive stories. We need more. We need more executive producers.
Yeah.
We need more directors. We need more, just more conscious people that have that power and in control that could kind of share those stories. Or if you work in media, like yourself, like myself, we have an obligation to put something else out there that's of substance versus just, you know, the entertainment that we see. Yeah, it's up to us.
So let's go back into the book real quick, right? What's one of your memorable passages in the book, if that makes sense?
It does, and I had all of my cousins there yesterday. Well, not all of them, but the majority of them.
Okay.
So we had a little rap group growing up.
Okay.
So,
what was the name of the rap group?
It was called CVB.
What did that stand for?
I can't tell you on there. You gotta get the book.
You could.
You gotta get the book. You gotta get the book.
Oh,
Let's try to do that.
All right.
So just having all of my cousins, just a squad there, I had some very memorable times. I like to pair the book. If you're a fan of The Wood, Crooklyn, The Coldest Winter Ever, The Pursuit of Happiness, Being Mary Jane, those type of titles, they have different stories within the book. So this main character would kick it on the west side of Chicago with her three cousins, and they did everything from going to the park to hoop, playing through the busted fire hydrants, going to the corner store, double dutching out front, just hanging on the stoop. So it's camaraderie, it's sisterhood, it's a little bit of everything. Those are some of my favorite memorable chapters. And then, of course, the TSU chapter when this character evolves and goes away to an HBCU. So we got the HBCU element in there that's cracking within itself. So those are some of my favorite.
Did you pledge a sorority by
I did not pledge a sorority.
Okay.
Me, fi me.
Me, fi me. Okay. Al. What was the name of our sorority? Oh my God. I remember it from a movie. I said a sorority.
Fraternity.
Clink. No, man. Me and my guys. This is what we used to do. Shout out to my crew from NIU, man. We used to wild out. College is interesting, right?
College is interesting.
And I'm happy you touched on HBCU, right? So I didn't go to HBCU. I went to NIU for a quick second.
Okay, well, NIU is absolutely great.
It's okay. See, when I went to NIU, if you're in any college, any type of school, if you're not focused, you won't win on any level. College is a pivotal point in your life. Like, you're on your own. If you go away to college, you're on your own. You have nobody telling you anything. Nobody. You know what I mean? And all you have are your friends, right? So true story. Me and my guys were at NIU, man. We tore NIU apart. We had too much fun. That's around the time when I really started DJing.
Okay.
And I'm making money, and I'm looking at class like,
I'll be there.
I get the homework. I get the notes. That was the wrong mindset,
Absolutely.
Right? So a lot of my friends that went to HBCUs, they all made it out. I don't care if it took them 5-6 years. They made it out. Now, tell me about your experiences going to a HBCU. You went to TSU.
Yes, the Texas Southern University, not to be confused with Tennessee State University, although I have a lot of friends at TSU. That's our little joke. We go back and forth.
Just go back and forth. Okay.
So shout out to Tennessee State and Texas Southern, of course. I think being at a HBCU, it's family, it's culture, and how you said a lot of them made it out. There is a responsibility to look out for each other. You know what I mean?
Clearly, right?
Yeah, it's family, it's love, it's pride, it's excelling and again rewriting that story of there are African Americans that graduate. There are African Americans that's on the dean's list that get degrees, and we're educated as well. So I think it's just a rich culture and history, and it's family, it's all love. So I had a great experience.
I bet you did. Like, I don't know anybody that says I hated going to a HBCU. I know a Mexican guy that went to he went to FAMU, man. Yeah, like, he loved it.
He could write a book.
Guess what?
He wrote a
should
book.
He should be writing a book. Shout out to Miguel Gonzalez. I mess with. That's one of my guys from a long, long way back. But Miguel went to an HBCU, and he didn't know anything about African American culture, like as far as like his buddies that we all grew up together. You know what I mean? But the killer about it is, Miguel is married to a black woman.
Of course,
you knew that was going to happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. And you know what I mean? And it's so funny, just real quick, just to touch on that. It's interesting when you talk about people of other cultures that went to HBCUs, you know what I mean? Because they gained an experience that you can't get anywhere else, not on TV,
absolutely,
not even at work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we had quite a few too. I think it's important to hop into immersing yourself in different cultures. I think that's part of the divisiveness now is because we're kind of so isolated. I understand the importance and why HBCUs were built, but until we kind of cross over into others, like I got my master's at a non-HBCU intentionally.
Oh, listen to this, man. That's dope.
Thank you.
Definitely dope.
So that way I could, be well-rounded and a little bit more exposed. So
see, this is not an interview. Like I said, this is a conversation. We're learning things about each other. You feel me?
Yes.
So, and now let's bring it back to speed of what we got going on right now, man. So let's talk about the book.
Okay.
Let's talk about where the book can be found and what's next after the book. First, where can the book be found?
You can go to dreamsbiggerthantexas.com. Get the book there.
It will be we got a website set.
We've been with the website been cracking for a while.
Nice.
There's some amazing video trailers on there as well. And shout out to all the creative people that have helped me get that together. Yeah, dreamsbiggerthantexas.com is where you can purchase the book.
Okay.
It is on sale for the next 2 days. And it will be on Amazon Tuesday of this week, tomorrow. It will be on Amazon tomorrow, and it's also available in ebook. So we did an ebook.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Kindles are really popping.
Yeah, Kindle.
People thought ebooks were gonna die and all this, that, and the third. But I like that, right? I hate reading books. No, true story. Like I read a lot, but I hate books. You know what I mean?
Really?
I
love the book. The book is just, you can tuck it away. You don't have to flip. And then if someone's calling you, you can multitask. You can turn your page over. So, but everyone has preferences, which is why we have it available for your taste.
And I like audiobooks. That's what I was going to say. Like, just like you said, somebody called, I just hit pause.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, if I'm in the car riding, like, I'm listening to, sometimes, like, a lot of times I don't listen to music anymore, man. I'm just getting into certain types of books. Okay. And audiobooks are dope. So, tell me about, what's your favorite? You say reading, you love tucking books away, but in 2016,
I know it's easy with the audiobook. It can be, and at some point we hope to have it out. So we'll get there, and we'll make sure we take care of you, so that way you can listen to it on your drive in. You also mentioned what's next. The goal is to again start a nonprofit organization. My heart is with working with youth, so the book is really just a setup.
Okay,
that's a platform to use it to travel and speak. I want to, the nonprofit is a little bit bigger picture, but in the immediate now, it would be really awesome if I could somehow get a contract with the Department of Education and travel to Brooklyn, Cleveland, Compton, Chicago, Atlanta. I want to go to the worst of the worst inner city, underprivileged neighborhoods and speak specifically to those youth. I feel like a lot of those youth are often forgotten and their dreams are often deferred because until they see someone with a similar background as like theirs and know that you can rewrite your story and you can dream chase, you can dream bigger, you can do it too. So I want to travel and that's the immediate now goal. I would love to just tackle, speak with the youth, man.
You have this planned out.
I do. I'm working on it.
I
always have a plan.
You've spoken into when you speak things into existence, they come to fruition, right?
I agree.
So listen, right? This is interesting because I've been waiting to ask you this, right?
Okay.
Are you going to write another book?
There has to be another book.
There has to be a part two.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dreams Bigger Than Texas actually ends in 2010.
Okay.
So there's this big gap. I did an epilogue. An epilogue is just a follow-up because, again, I finished the book a while ago, right? And so I know people are going to be like, man, how did you get to Atlanta? What happened in the, what? So I did the epilogue is like, hey, I know you guys have been wondering. 6 years later, I'm in Atlanta in the CNN break room, having this whole litany of things I needed to do. But there will definitely be another. This character has a really interesting, she's the friend that always has the most craziest things that happens to her like these incredible stories. So you know, there'll be another book. And shout out to God for giving me such amazing story to tell. I wouldn't even have this content.
Shout out to God.
Shout out to God.
What a dope force he is, or God is.
God is, absolutely,
but what a dope force God is. Because look, right? Let's just recap everything real quick. It took you how many years? 9 years, you said.
9 years.
To put this book together, right?
Yep.
A lot of years of experience. Well, we don't want to say that, but 20-some years of experience. What are you, like 25 now?
Ooh,
yeah.
I like you. I'm in my 30s.
No. But yeah, all of this experience rolled up and put on paper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, definitely, like, it's a positive feel. Like, so tell me about this. Like, let's talk about a little more in the book.
Okay.
What is the? Can you tell me something about the book without giving like too many details?
I could, and because it's out now, you know what I mean. People can go through it again. Like I mentioned, I love to pair to the Wood, Crooklyn, the coldest one ever, being Mary Jane. You know, she has a sophisticated group of friends that are all doing their different things in different cities. So of course she's exploring dating life. You know, then you got the family dynamic. She does have a brother that's incarcerated, so looking out for the family and being there for the mom, and then being the one that just kind of goes away to try to redeem the family. So it's a story of hope, strength, tenacity. It's just a great story. You're in love with the character. You're upset with her. You're like, man, here she go again. Okay. And then in the end, you wanted her to win. So, yeah.
What was the most embarrassing thing about putting this book out?
I have not experienced it yet because now people are reading and some people are already texting me.
Are you serious?
Like, yeah, so it's certain things come out and, you know, they'll be like,
me?
You put that in there, right? You put that in there. I feel like oh boy from what's the movie? I've been saying it all week.
Oh. I already know what you're talking about.
Yep.
Where Tay Diggs and
what's it? Somebody help me out. Yeah, I feel like I'm in that movie. And I've been saying that.
Why did I give Mary?
No. It's
The Best Man.
The Best Man. There it is.
Boom.
There it is.
I don't even watch those type of movies, but I've seen that a couple of times. That's interesting for that. So are you saying your story, you feel like it could be comparable to that movie?
It has a lot of those elements, yes.
Raquel.
I know. But so there'll be probably tons of embarrassing things. I think I was just ready to get it out and get it done. You know, so as people are actually reading it, I was telling my cousin yesterday, it's easy for people to be excited because you're cheering and you're rooting for me through this process. But you haven't read the book yet, so you don't really know what's in the book. So once people are kind of hitting my phone, I think that's when I'll experience more of the embarrassing stuff.
Is it something you'll be able to get past?
Of course.
So if you were so adamant and so quick with answering that, Raquel, I was looking for you to say, "Oh my God, I don't know if I want to talk about that." But you feel like, to me, I get the impression that you're comfortable with any and everything that had occurred in your life. So writing this book, is it fair to say that it was time consuming, but it was honest and easy?
It was definitely time consuming. I went through some emotional things, of course. You know, like I mentioned, even sharing my story, my mother's story is shared too.
Gotcha.
You know, those are not the prettiest moments of her life.
Definitely.
So having to like, hey, how you doing? Check in. You want to read this section, or you know, kind of doing some of that. So no, it wasn't really pretty. And looking at myself in third person, it helped me to grow. So I saw patterns of behavior. Why I shut down like this, why I acted like that. And then just not growing up with a father, I had a better understanding of some of my selections, even with dating. So that's not the most prettiest thing to talk about, or dealing with insecurities or promiscuity or different things that I'm not even still comfortable saying, but it's in the book and it's necessary to talk about it. I think, again, if we keep those things to ourselves, what happens in this house or appearing that you got it all together, we're all really flawed. And at the end of the day, vulnerability is really strength. So...
How was your mom's take on the book as she was going through it?
Which, you know, she tunes in here and there, and I think she may be watching the Facebook Live. You know,
shout out to moms.
Shout out to moms.
You did it. You are a success story, Mom.
Yeah, she is. I feel we could either use our story as a platform to stand on, or we could use it as a wall to hide behind. You know, I choose the platform to stand on.
Nice. Strength.
You know, that it's strength. You came out of anything. You know what I'm saying? You came out of it. It's not. You could either be a victim or a victor. You know what I mean? So, yeah, embarrassing. I'm still working through these things. Again, as people are reading it and sharing it and things are tweeted and posted out, then I'll We'll deal with it as it comes. I just needed to get it out, and that was most important for me.
So how does your significant other feel about this book?
I like how you did that without asking me, do I have a significant other?
It.
That was smooth.
Busy,
that was real smooth. I am single, so,
nice. Okay.
But I do know in my personal dating life, that's a lot. You know what I mean? That's a lot for people to, but at the same time, it is an open book. So some who the muster will have an advantage of knowing just kind of the personal things about me.
So fellas that are interested in you.
In the book.
No. I mean in real life. Like, so guys that you haven't met yet, like they technically don't exist.
Right.
If they read your book, they kind of got an upper hand.
They do. They got an idea.
They
got an idea, but I'm not to be figured out. You know, I'm
like most women,
right?
Like most women, right? Most women,
you have a little blueprint,
a
little playbook, but at the same time, there's so many amazing layers to who I am.
Okay,
so
definitely dope talk this morning. Definitely really good talk this morning, man. Like it's like we're waking up. You notice how we're slowly waking up more and more?
We are.
So this book has pretty much put you in a position in life. It's fair to say that this book has put you in a position in life where it's like you probably look at things differently. Would you say?
I think after this moment, so you're asking really great questions, and I think after this moment, I'll start to feel that way. Right now, you know how like you may bake a cake, you spend some time, or even your music, your mixtape, like we were talking about music. You're crafting in the studio, you put it out, but it's not until people that's like, man, your song really touched me, or man, I listen to this every day, or man, I felt your intensity in those lyrics. That's when you feel it, because then you hear it back. You know it's yours, it's near and dear, but when other people are receptive to it, and other people can give you feedback, and other people are blessed by it, I think that's when it really hits you, and it's like, wow, I did something really dope and creative. So I think that process is starting to happen now. Right now, I'm grinding, but I'm working on enjoying the moment and taking it all in, and that's coming little by little. Now that the release party's out the way, you know, I'll get some feedback and see, you know, how people feel about it, what people think, and so we'll go from there. So
we keep going back and forth between the book and the release party, man. And, you know, you said the bartenders were mixing drinks, right?
Okay.
When an event like that like a serious event, like of course it's going to be a celebration of your work, of your hard work, but when an event like that occurs, and you know you're like the spectacle of the night and you're in front of everybody, does that hinder you from enjoying yourself so much?
I think so. And my close friends that really know me, I do not like attention. So even stepping out of this to go on camera, to speak is so necessary. I have to do it, and I'm grateful. I studied media coincidentally, so it's kind of shaped me taking those classes. And I was a sports reporter in college. Okay. So I know how to speak a little bit. But I'm really kind of low-key. I really, you know, I was already thinking like, man, people are going to be looking at me. I got to go up and speak. But again, it's about stepping out of that comfort zone. You can't grow until you're willing to step out. So, yes, it was a little nerve-wracking. And I feel like I'm now like soaking it all in. I was in such hustle mode last night to where and now it's hitting me. It's like, man, you had a release party. You know, there I was just like, let's do this, check on this. Right. So, yeah.
So, how many pictures you think you took last night?
Man, probably like, someone had my phone, but I had a photographer there. Shout out to Ryan Caliberz, who's tuned in. He did an amazing job with the photos.
Dope.
Great friend of mine. I don't know, maybe some thousands, probably. Probably.
I like asking when I'm talking to somebody who had an event like that, man, and I love asking them, like, how many pictures you think you took? Because after a while, it's like, I gotta put this smile on. God, I want to know how this smile looks because I've been smiling
am I shiny?
So much.
Did someone do I touch up my makeup?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was smiling a lot all night. My cheeks kind of hurt.
The cheeks hurt.
Cheeks hurt.
So, again, we said there's a website set up for the book, dreamsbiggerthantexas.com.
Dreamsbiggerthantexas.com. We got some really amazing video trailers on there. Got to check it out. No Try Do is actually, that's his track on both the video trailers.
Which song? What's the name of it?
I can't think. It's like a track from like 07, 08. I can't. He's probably going to kill me because I don't know the name of the track. Okay. But it's an older album, and it's something I really fell in love with. I actually did my thesis when I was in grad school about young black voices in the media, and I used that same track back in 2009 on it. So yeah, video trailers are there. I have a media page with other things. We've been featured on WGN, The Beat in Houston, Some radio stations in DC, so a few places. So yeah, you can go there. You can check out that. Follow the movement. All of my social media is there. You can find me at rcarladanielle. rcarladanielle. That's my my handle for Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, so the website is a great space. I'm working on getting a team, so stuff will be updated soon. But right now, I'm one-woman band almost. Like
a one-woman band, yeah.
Well, with a bunch of amazing supporters. I cannot say that enough.
So. Okay. So, again, and you took the next question I was going to ask you, your social media handles, okay? So, tell me about, like, the influence of social media and going in tune with this book. Like, has social media affected you positively yet?
Absolutely. Again, I did a Kickstarter, and a Kickstarter is equivalent to GoFundMe, right? But for creative people. So without having social media, no one would have known anything that I'm doing. They would not have been able to support. Social media is such a blessing. It's a blessing. I feel like it's a gift and a curse in this day and age. Of course, it demolishes interpersonal communication sometimes because I got a new home, I got a baby. You didn't see the Facebook post? No. Can you tell me you're pregnant?
That's so
Can you
funny
tell me you got engaged?
I don't even want to give you my opinion on that type of talk, but you continue.
Yes, and I really hate social media, but it's necessary. Like now, thank you guys for tuning in and watching and supporting me. So it's one of those things, but social media has been a grave influence in terms of me getting the message out. And being able to share the content and to make the sales and to get people to come out to the party, because without it, how are people to get in tune and connected? So
right. Do you feel as a person that has experience in working in media, do you feel that there will be a curve at any point with social media effects, like the positive effects? Do you feel like it'll just be social media anytime soon?
I think no, not at all. I mean, even when you think of the presidential election, I don't know why I said that, if I don't want to dive too deep into that, but when you think of politics, or when you think of healthcare, even the Black Lives Matter movement or different movements, and people are not really informed outside of social media, it's detrimental because you're only seeing certain perspectives that may not always be true. So I think social media has like a grave influence. I don't see it just being social media. That's where people get their news from, and that's some people take it as Bible, like his word.
Sure.
And everyone's not what they post to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know you in real life, and so many people are just, because you can do and be whoever you want to be on social media. So no, I definitely don't see it head into just social media. I think it's going to continue to dictate culture, society, and media overall. Yeah. And it's going to be something new. Everything new is coming out. You can go live, and that's even kind of scary. I was on Periscope recently, and you just tune in. You could zoom into the map and tune in to someone in China doing God knows what, just posting their video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, social, it's crazy. It's interesting to see where it would be. It's great when it's done responsibly. I'll say that.
Okay. So as well, when you say it's done responsibly, it's great. Do you think that social media at any time in your life has negatively impacted you?
Absolutely. So before I got on my book kick, the 23-year-old me did not adequately represent the 28 and 30-year-old me. Okay. So I had to go back and delete all of those pictures. For real? Yeah, all those pictures and hanging out in college, and because I was on Facebook when it first started in 2006. So again, that 23-year-old me. I'm a different person. So yeah, and that's your digital fingerprint. Employers will Google you. Employers will see what's out there. And you have to be mindful that it's beyond, even like now, I may want to play with people that are tuning into this lit feed, but other people that do not know me may go back and look at this feed and see my responses to comments through other people. So you have to just be conscious that it's bigger than even your network, because stuff is shared constantly. Stuff is always posted. And that may be someone's lasting impression of you. Your first impression is maybe a inside joke that they don't know anything about. So I think you have to use it responsibly. Know that it's your digital fingerprint. Once it's out there, whether it's screenshotted, it's in the cloud. You can't put anything crazy and then try to tear it down and delete it. Somebody saw it, and it may come back to haunt you. So. Okay.
Right now, we got maybe like 2 minutes left.
Okay.
2 minutes left before the show concludes. Do you have a memorized passage or memorized area of your book that you can share with me right now?
So I'm going to go ahead and shut down this live feed and pull something up. Thank you guys for tuning in.